Listen, I have an idea.
It's how I feel when you make lemonade. Whatever today has given you. 5'11" headaches, still call it Thanksgiving. True.
Welcome to another edition of the Super Duper Podcast. I'm your host, Rob Griggs, here with the super producer and the disrespected by Apple, as McMahon.
Yes, actually, it wasn't Apple. Apple actually worked. It was Capital One.
Oh, sorry, Capital One. Sorry, Apple.
Who was the culprit here?
What's in your pocket?
Gotta tag it. Inside joke. Hey, so Ez, what hat you got on today, man?
This is a White Sox hat, current colors, but the 87 through 90 logo.
Yeah, because you got to put it on your like 40 hat rack, right? Is it 40 hats you got on that hat rack from Amazon?
About that, yeah. Now our guest here has a little more than that.
Oh,
I can't even talk, man. I got so many hats. I forgot what hats I have. But the other hats that I had, that I forgot about the hats that I had when I had them hats.
So the smoothie, silky voice that you hear is the one and only GM Glynn Morgan from the Easy Smoke and GM Podcast. How you doing, my man?
Hey, what's up, brothers? How's everybody doing?
Everybody's good. Thank you for joining us today. Since you are here, it's definitely time for football. We did it last year. We had the top 5 things to look for in the football season. We should have kept track. Were you right at all of the 5 stuff that you had last year?
Really close. I remember I said you're gonna see a wide receiver get 2,000 yards, and
you said the Bears will make the playoffs.
No, I didn't say that. No, I did not say that.
To run that tape is. To find that tape, man. I think you said that, man.
No, because Ez will tell you, I am a Bears realist before I'm a Bears fan. Yeah, I put the real before the fan. But no, Tyreek Hill came really close to getting 2,000 yards. He got nicked up towards the end. I think he had about 1,800 yards receiving, so he came real close. And I think I talked about maybe a rematch of the Super Bowl or something like that. I might have said something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I was closer. I was closer to being right than I was to being wrong.
I got you. Well, thank you for joining us today. So we're gonna get to the football stuff real quick, but thank you for checking out the Super Duper Pie. We do not take your listens lightly. Make sure you follow us online at hp53productions.com for our merch and additional content such as the Easy Smoke and GM podcast, and also follow us on Instagram at Super Duper Pie, SUPADUPAPOD. What up, Sarah? Make sure you follow us, like, subscribe, share anywhere you get your podcast, especially on Spotify. Spotify. So we do a lot of London slang on here, man. So last week the last episode talked being knackered, right, bruv? Like, knackered, bruv. Listen to Spotify, bruv. Give me a cup of tea, bruv. So I got a few more slang.
So you're doing them. You're not going to do the Aussies, eh?
No, man. Man them. See, you got
to tell them why this is though.
Here's the reason why we do it is this, because apparently online they love the when I try to imitate the London slang, right? They're searching for the pie by the guy with the bad British accent. That's how they're searching for the SDP. So we gonna keep it up. Wow. So as today's word is mandem. MANDEN means a group of friends or associates. So
MANDEM.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess
Mandem.
I guess we on the pie with Mandem. Right, bro?
All right, sir.
That doesn't roll off the tongue, right?
Nah. But I tried to pick slang, that black people say in London, because I felt like I was picking out the words that we probably wouldn't say to the Londoners that look like us, man. So I'm trying to keep it regional, you dig? But another thing, man, I want to get to. I thought about this as, we talked about the Olympics real heavy, right, when it was on for 2 weeks. And I realized something as GM, we suck. You know why? Because the Paralympics are on and nobody watching one of these things. I looked on the TV today and I was just like, why are these dudes? Oh, like the Team USA guys in wheelchairs were killing France by 30. And guess what? Ain't on ESPN. Ain't nobody talking about it. Ain't tweeting. I mean, knocking them around, man. It was a dude running the race. I saw it in the stadium. Nobody in the stadium, bro. I mean, like, nobody in the stadium. We suck as people because they tell you when the Olympics over, Paralympics are gonna be here in 2 weeks. Everybody get on a plane. Au revoir. They ain't look back, and these people out here running for their lives, man.
The entire world should be ashamed.
Should be ashamed, man. We suck as people. I mean, we really do suck. I mean, seriously, nobody in the stands. I mean, I felt ashamed and appalled at myself because it's like we didn't ask. We had what 3-4 episodes. We are a weekly show. We talked about the Olympics about 4 times.
I'm just curious. How did you find it?
I mean, it was on some random I think it was on what Ion or USA, some network that just they give it away.
Wow.
So it just happened. I mean, the sound wasn't even, you know what it was? I was in the gym and it was on the machine before like I got on the treadmill and it was already on there. So I was like, oh, the Paralympics are on. I suck. I didn't care not one bit about
Well,
this.
at least you stayed with it. You didn't, just turn the channel to some ridiculous rerun or something.
I kind of did turn the channel.
Oh,
after a minute because it's like Peacock wasn't involved. I couldn't go through the sports. I was like I saw USA was up by 30. They gonna win this game.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Man. And I mean my man had to go because listen,
that's terrible.
He ringing the bell. I was like, dang, ain't nobody here to hear this bell. You know what I'm saying? He just ringing it, dog. Go ahead, Glenn.
Dude, it's funny you say that because as I'm watching the football game, they do a promo for the Paralympics. And I'm like, oh, I totally forgot they had those.
Completely. Listen.
And they show it was a great montage. I'm like, oh man, it really, they're swimming and this two persons doing this triple jump with like one leg that's not there and the other leg that's halfway there. I mean, all these things. It sounded bad, but
I had to leave. As we cancel. So thanks for checking out the Super Duper Pod. We're never having a show ever again. Thanks, GM, for being our last guest. Come on, man.
Sitting there, I'm thinking like myself, I'm like, so wait, they had the Olympics, and that was a while ago, and they let everybody go, and they're like, okay, y'all can come in after us. It's like such second-class citizenship.
So I was thinking, okay, either they should have the Paralympics
Before.
first. Yeah. Yes. Or during.
Before.
I mean, seriously, they should because I mean, all jokes aside, right? It's like we should be supporting this. Like these feats of people, seriously, these guys are in wheelchairs playing ball. Like that's not easy to do. And these people where they're running around this track with one leg and maybe a deformed limb, and they are like committing these feats that people can't do that are able-bodied. You know what I'm saying? Because like we should be watching this more. And so I'm with you. It should either be before or they should figure out a schedule of during or maybe that closing ceremony. See, because the thing is this, you watch the closing ceremony and because listen, you've been on this Odyssey for 2 weeks. So it's like, okay, I'm done. I've been up all night watching badminton and the Australians break dancer, you know what I mean? They got that out the paint. And so it's like the Paralympics, they tell you, they even show the people, and it's like a break in between. So you don't even know it comes back on. So I thought we suck as people, man. They should do this differently because truly we should celebrate those folks in the feats that they are accomplishing because it ain't easy, man. Straight up.
Everything that drives the Olympics, or one of the things that drives the Olympics, are the narratives, the stories. Yeah. And you should do the Paralympics beforehand because you can carry those stories over into the Olympics. They can be kind of like a precursor to some degree, and you can further acknowledge the gold medalists that won, regardless of the country, and say, hey, these were individuals representing the country, similar sports. So when you have someone that's been on the track and field doing a relay, or someone that's basketball team, so to speak, you have that Paralympic team or individual that won the gold medal be there as well, and just say, hey, just further acknowledgement. They don't have necessarily, or I'm just throwing it out there, but something in terms of where if you didn't catch the Olympics, the Paralympics, here is an opportunity to recognize again these individuals who are heroes in their own right. And if you do it afterwards, you're losing everybody because everyone, like you said, everyone at the point you shut down, you're done. And for the most, and it might actually drive a little more interest. Or it's the worst analogy, and another reason you're probably going to not have anyone watch this show because it's closed down. But
thanks. So it's never invite Glynn again.
Here we go.
This is the last episode of football.
But like when you're in school and you're learning communications and you talk about block TV, you have some shows, the ones that you really want to watch, but you have something ahead of time that you're watching that kind of leads into it. And that could be what the Paralympics kind of be. It's like, okay, you're here, but hey, it kind of, it's like I don't say wet your whistle, but it's something that gets you attuned to what's happening, and you can draw more attention. And I think and not only that, but more support, and maybe more fiscal support and more television, whatever the case might be. You're going to draw more eyes that way than you would if you put it after like if you had the best show, then you got a show that's not so good after that. You're probably not going to be watching that show because everyone's, tune the channel. You turn the channel. That's basically what we did. We literally and figuratively turned the channel after the Olympics were done.
Yeah, and I feel like it should just be a sign of it being more inclusive. To your point, is having it closer to the actual Olympics itself. Now, I don't know. I mean, it's for example, it's still the same host city, right? So it's like it's not that the city is
exactly
got to shut down. So I don't understand why they just can't, because I don't think it's all. I mean, I'm probably gonna get canceled too. I'm sure that they can't do all of the same sports just because of the physical limitations, right? So I don't think it's all the events. So I'm just saying that there should be a way that it should be part of this Peacock package, right? It should be part of the original when everybody is talking Olympics for 2-3 weeks straight. These, to the point you made, these Olympians should also be involved because we don't know who they are, we don't know their stories, we don't know what they've overcome, because that's most of the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? No allows out there running with the VID in people's faces. You know what I'm saying? No mask, no nothing. We know exactly everything he did. But these people who are, you know what I'm saying, they have this physical limitation or whatever, and they are out here completing these great feats in record time. So I think. And again, we started out joking, but the truth is they could do a better job at promoting the Paralympics. Because I don't think I've ever watched the Paralympics ever, because it's always like it's later, but that after that couple weeks break,
highlights or soming.
Yeah.
Now it's an afterthought at this point.
Yeah, and you would think they would try to make a bigger push for that, especially just want to be more inclusive. Like it was on, I think it was on USA Network. I haven't watched USA Network since Suits was on there, you know what I'm saying, a long time ago, right? So ain't nobody
only
watching
show anybody ever knows on USA is Suits. That's the only show.
Wait. You guys weren't watching Suits when it was on USA.
No.
A bunch of people didn't start watching until it got on Netflix. Like, wait a minute, this was a show?
No, it was a show on USA with a woman, Covert Affairs. There we go. Now I was watching that.
I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, I remember it was brief. I don't know if it was brief, but I remember it being on the early 2000s.
But I mean, there's a lot of shows on. I mean, nowadays, if you ain't on streaming, yeah. But nowadays, everything is on streaming. But
totally
USA, all
missed
the
that
shows
one.
they have. My family, man, what did you watch? Was sports all the time? That's
sports,
it? Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Watched a lot of Comcast Sportsnet. A lot of NBC Sports Chicago.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Well, we fall down.
A lot of ESPN.
So it's not now, Glenn. We usually do our Tubi recommendations toward the end, but since you're here, we're gonna give you the end to you. So, Ez, do you have one? Because I have one, a Tubi recommendation. So, Glenn, just so you know
what, I actually haven't watched a Tubi movie in a while. I got
stuff you're dealing with.
You made me feel bad, so I had to take a break.
What I do?
Oh, you come on! You definitely shamed me a little bit.
Wait, no, that's because you was picking the movies that was shot on a broken iPhone.
Exactly,
not just a good one. It's like you
shaming me.
Glenn, the movies they didn't even have a mic for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Somebody speak, and another person, you would hear nothing. He's like, you got to fill in the blanks in your mind about what they say. Those his movies. I mean, they get some quality production on there. So I got one. My Tubi recommendation is Behind the Veil. They doing this past the dirty, man, in the movie.
Behind the Veil,
man. And it's actually it's a 2-hour movie. Most of the Tubi movies like an hour 15. You in and you out. I kept looking like this movie ain't over yet. Y'all need to edit this down. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, they got some long movies on there. Some movies that probably could have been 45 minutes.
Yeah.
55.
This one it was a lot of scenes. The one was crying in the car. I was like, hey, wrap this up, man. Just I guess she in tears. Okay, got it. She's sad. Got it. But I've noticed also on Tubi, as we've talked about before on the pod, Tubi is being built off the back of these black filmmakers, right? These movies, everybody love them. Now I'm starting to see Now I'm starting to see the white movies looking like the black Tubi movies, man, with these these saucy titles, you know what I'm saying, like Hot Fire. I looked at like, who's in this movie? Oh, here they come. Take the black ones, but I still think Tubi is a good, so Glenn, Ez and I always talk about the struggle with Tubi, right? Because it's owned by Fox, right? We know it's owned by Fox, and they supports Fox News. But what we always say is like, okay, but we understand that and we don't deny that. But it's also an opportunity for these filmmakers. They may not have had another opportunity to put their film somewhere and get millions of views, or even just a chance to learn how to make a movie. You know what I'm saying? First you go from on the phone, using an iPhone, now you got a camera, and now you got like a real deal, like you are a real deal movie maker. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the broski. We were talking about Tubi. He was like, "Listen, everything's in Detroit. He want to go to Detroit just to see a Tubi movie get filmed on set, man. Detroit, Atlanta, and Texas, right? But Detroit,
Houston,
for sure.
Houston.
They all in Detroit, man.
Yeah. The DNA. Man. From the looks of it, a lot of big money in Detroit going on, man.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
Well, some of that too, but
hello.
But yeah, a lot of money. I didn't know money was flowing like that up in the D, man.
But I mean,
So
go ahead.
What category do y'all go to watch? Because whenever I see Tubi, I see movies that I've either seen before, or old movies like A Fistful of Dollars, or Halloween, or Friday, or Money Pit.
You use Tubi wrong. My brother. You use Tubi wrong.
You gotta go to the Black Experience movies.
Hey man, I think it's Tubi Originals. Go to
Tubi Originals. Yeah.
Oh, that's what you call it.
So we go. Hey, let's give them the tutorial of Tubi. So you gotta go to Tubi Originals. Now, the first couple movies you're gonna see, it's gonna be the same stories. Like it's gonna be somebody they got AIDS, they had a baby on the side, and somebody's gonna get randomly shot, and it's just gonna end.
There's always some gunplay at the end,
and it just ends.
It's just an abrupt ending.
Yeah, it's like they just didn't have enough time to finish out. It's like, okay, it's over, right? It just goes on.
Sometimes there's a stripper that's trying to get out the game,
right? A lot of threesome movies.
So Three Secrets. So Three Secrets would be your
so that is totally a Tubi title there. You could write for Tubi right now.
Absolutely, you really could, man. Yo, it's funny. I'm now out and about, and I see situations, and I just write a Tubi movie right there. I see people with me. I'm like, yeah, they did this happen, and that happened. Tubi movie, cool. Kind of like Indentured Secrets.
So the Lesbian Homie 2 would be a classic Tubi movie.
Actually, that's a real show.
That's a real show, yeah.
That's a big shot show. Actually, a very good show, by the way.
Really?
Wait, you've seen it then? You've seen it on
Not
there?
Not at all.
Okay, I'm gonna do.
I've seen it on there. I mean, I've seen the list of it on there. But
do me a favor. Do me a favor. All right, next time go to Tubi and go check out the Lesbian Homies series. That there's 3 seasons. It actually
that is on Tubi.
It's on Tubi now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All 3 seasons I think are on Tubi.
Wow.
It started as just a skit that they did for social media. All right. Okay. And then it evolved into an actual series, and it's actually really well done.
Yeah,
obviously low budget, but it's it's a group out of LA they're doing their thing, man. It's really good writing, and some decent acting.
And see, that's the thing, and that's the thing with Tubi, right? It's just like, these people have this platform to do this, right? And you got to give us the Tubi movies. We talk about this often. The storylines are different. Like it's like I never thought that there's a movie, the wife's sin. The sins of the wife. That's what it was, and it was about this couple that had a best friend. They all lived together. The couple decided to get married, but the best friend did not like that. I guess it was. I'm sure some of the movies we've seen before, but like come to find out he had been with both of them. Then he's locked them in a basement. Then tried to get one of them beat up. Movie's nuts, and you sit there going the whole time. You're like, why am I watching this? But guess what? I gotta see it through, my boy. I gotta see it through. I gotta see how this ends. And then guess what they do? Abruptly end it. So you just like, wait a minute. I stayed here just for them to get to put it all in black. So, but yeah, that's my Tubi recommendation. Behind the Veil.
Behind the Veil. I'm with it.
Hey, Ez, I apologize from the heart, man, if I made you feel some kind of way,
you
man.
Did, man. But that's all right. I'm coming back.
You should, bro. You should.
But again, gonna be here forever.
But it's again, you just gotta find just at least a little bit budget of a movie. Like they got at least like one camera, not just the phone. At least they got the mic situation together, man. Come on,
yeah. Hey. I'm gonna check that out right after Secret Life of a Dominatrix. I'm gonna check that out.
I'm sure that's a movie.
Yeah, that's the Tubi original.
See, Glynn gonna be up. It's out of Glynn. I've been up for weeks. I've watched Tubi for weeks. Can't stop, man. So Glynn, we got you on the pod, man. Because tonight, as we're talking, the Kansas City Chiefs are playing the Baltimore Ravens. Who's winning? What's the score is?
27-17 Kansas City right now.
Oh, God, man. Before we get to you, Glenn, I did a fantasy league, man, with some folks. I feel like I'm about to regret it, man, because I had Derrick Henry on my team.
He scored a touchdown today.
Yeah, I know. I need him to score 2. I'm already getting beat in my league. I was about to just dismantle my team right now. But, Glenn, it is started football season. I know you and Ez talk about a lot of football. Love the Bears on the Easy Smoke NGM podcast. We wanted to bring you on the pod today, talk to our audience like you did last year, to talk about, because again, this is the time of year where couples be about to break up because like somebody just watching stuff all Sunday. They got stuff to watch all Monday night. Now stuff on Thursdays, games on Friday. Got college. I mean, they said the Chiefs playing every night of the week except for Tuesday this year, right? People going. Relationships about to be tested. So just for those who are listening to us, maybe they can follow along with the football season. You can give us 5 things to check out during the football season. So I'll leave it to you, my man.
Well, you started earlier when you mentioned the Kansas City Chiefs. They've won back-to-back Super Bowls, and as far as the history of the Super Bowl, no team has won 3 in a row. Now, some have gone more than 3 times or more than 3 times. The Buffalo Bills went 4 times in a row. The Dolphins went 3 times in a row, but only won 2 of those. So here the Chiefs have an opportunity to do something that no other team in NFL history has done. And Mahomes is well on his way to arguably being called the GOAT while he's still playing the game. Right now, he's been to 3 Super Bowls. He's been to 4 Super Bowls. He's won 3. He's been the MVP of all 3 of those, and he's been a league MVP 2 times already. And he's done that in his first 7 years. So, he still has a good another 10 years. That's insane. He's got a good another 5 to I don't know how long he has to play. He can play as long as he wants to play. So he and the Kansas City Chiefs look to be poised to repeat or at least get back there and have a chance at it. So I tell you, viewers, look for that. And if you're a Chiefs fan, if you like Mahomes, if you like Taylor Swift, and if you're a Swiftie, whatever the case might be, check him out. It's an interesting story. I mean, if you want to root for him, root against him, it's still a story, still a narrative. So I think that's something people should be inclined to watch. Also this year.
You think they got a chance to redo it for a 3-peat?
Oh, undoubtedly, yeah. Seriously, it's everyone says don't bet against Mahomes, and I understand that he's that focal point because he's the quarterback, and so much and so forth. A lot of things roll through and go through the quarterback. But really, he's benefited from being, when he was drafted, being on a playoff team that was already a playoff team when he got there. But he also has consistent coaching. The coaching is such an integral part of the success, especially in football. For players that have the continued success. We saw it with Brady over his 20-year career, most of it obviously with New England. And we're seeing it now with Mahomes having Andy Reid be one of the probably best offensive minds in the last quarter of a century, really, in professional football. And not only that, but more, especially even more so, Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, they just showed a stat earlier today that he's the only coordinator in the history of the NFL that has 4 Super Bowls. So that just lets you know that when a coordinator is part of a Super Bowl winning team, other teams want that success. And so that coordinator leaves and goes on to become a head coach. So it's very difficult. You don't have that because they don't stay. But Spagnuolo is very happy in his role as defensive coordinator. And that's something we saw play out in the last Super Bowl. The defense really helped the Chiefs be able to be sustainable against different teams. And when the offense was struggling like it was last year with receivers dropping the ball and just not being and firing on all cylinders, that defense was steady Eddie, got them through some of the rough spots, carried them through to a Super Bowl. So right now, everything seems to be in sync. The defense players are there. They were the youngest defensive team last year, too. in the NFL.
Yeah, I saw that 25,
Yeah.
like average 25 and a half, something like that, right?
Something like that, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're all there, and they have more speed than they've had the receiver spot in quite some time since the Tyreek Hill days. So they do look poised. Health, it's attrition, it's football. Who knows what's going to happen? The 16 weeks after this, or 16 games after this. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, if there's any money you want to put on them doing it, I mean, they're probably like minus something, but don't bet the house, but maybe bet one corner of the room or something like that, and you may be able to come up with another addition for the house when these guys win.
Gotcha.
All
right.
So I would say, also professionally, I'm hopefully assume that you have a lot of Chicagoland fans that are part of your viewership. That being the case, look for the Chicago Bears to be one of the more exciting teams in the NFL. What does that mean? That means that whether it's on offense or defense, the Bears are going to entertain you, give you a show. I do believe the Bears have an opportunity where you may see the Bears have never had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards in a season or 30 touchdowns. So here's the thing. Here's the thing.
That's
I don't care about that stat.
Impossible, man. That's crazy. Go ahead.
No, it's not. It really isn't. It's not that easy. I mean, let's take Lamar Jackson. Last year, he got a second MVP. He only threw for 3,600 yards and 29 touchdowns. So it doesn't happen as often as you might think.
Okay.
We've seen it more so, but it doesn't happen that often with everybody. I don't think Caleb's going to throw for 4,000 this year, but I do think he will break that Bears ceiling of getting over the 30 touchdown threshold. I think he may throw for 32 touchdowns this year.
Yeah. I have the Bears. I got the Bears defense special team in my fantasy league, and I have DJ Moore as my wide receiver. So I'm hoping that you're right.
Yeah, in a good spot. So look for Caleb to break a record as a rookie for the Chicago Bears. I think that it may be more than one, but I guarantee you he'll break at least one, and it'll be entertaining football for you.
That's really not that hard to do.
Hey man, don't stop pissing on my Cheerios. Come on, man. Just let me run with this. Okay. I mean, really?
Look at the history of rookie quarterbacks for the Bears. Not
how about we look at the history of the Bears? A franchise has been since the beginning 100 years. So he's gonna do something that hasn't been done in 100 years. I'm gonna go with that. It's all about how you spin your narrative. Come on, man.
Come on.
Stop trying to underline stuff and
Though, do you know who has the rookie record for wins for a quarterback for the Bears?
Probably Mitchell Trubisky.
No.
Wait, was Rex Grossman?
Rookie. Sorry, you said rookie.
For a rookie.
For a rookie. Jesus.
So this was I doing on the Easy Smoker GM. I got
it. Probably somebody that wasn't around for 1920s, 1930s. I have no idea.
It was fairly recent.
Rex Grossman? Was he a rookie?
Recent. It's not Grossman.
No, it's not Grossman. It's not
Chad. What's the guy's name?
Not rookie. Oh, Kyle Orton.
There you go. 10 wins.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Just took a moment. Nice little bar trivia right there.
There you go.
Jeez. See, Ed McMahon, he wasn't watching movies on USA. He's watching all the sports.
He's watching all the sports. Okay.
What's your next one?
The next one. I don't know how interesting it is for everybody, but it's like some things I just want to see continue. And one of those things is Mike Tomlin, who's the head coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers, erstwhile African-American coach, who's been that job for 17 years, has never had a losing season. Right now, there's a conundrum at quarterback. They say when you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one. It's got Russell Wilson and I should say but for your Bear fans or your Bear contingent, Chicagoland contingent who are watching, they will remember Justin Fields. He's over there as an understudy right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can the Steelers, who have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL, can Tomlin once again be over 500? I think we should watch it. I really don't know. It's going to be very difficult to do so. So that's slightly interesting, but again, just to see if he can maintain that. That's a phenomenal record. I don't think people realize how impossible, not hard, how damn near impossible it is to never have a losing season in 17 seasons. Yeah. That is insane.
Yeah.
Some people haven't been alive that long to understand what success or failure is like. It's the epitome of success.
And And Tomlin obviously gets a huge amount of credit for that. But that's organizational right there, man. I mean, they've only had what 3 head coaches in the last
in my
50
lifetime.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, in my life. Yeah, for those of us who are.
So good. You old man. It's cool.
But yeah, in my lifetime.
But no, that's crazy though.
But it's something to see, because I would love to see Justin Fields play. I really would play and do well. But I feel like for him to do well, that means Russell Wilson has to look bad. I mean, I got nothing against Russell. I don't care necessarily either way, but I just don't want him looking out there just like, you know what I'm saying, like bad yet, right? You know what I'm saying? I hope he does well somewhere, but I do want Justin Fields to play. But I mean, that means Russ got to go down. Just Russ will be okay. He go home to Sierra. He'll be all right. Got a lot of dollars.
Not a bad place to go.
Yeah, not a bad. Go home, count your money, wipe your tears with your $100 bills, man. You'll be all right.
Yes.
I think you may see, and I don't know statistically if this is a fact or not, but to watch for this year, you've got 3 rookie quarterbacks starting. I believe all of those rookie quarterbacks will at least be at or either right at 500 or right below. So either 9-8 or 8-9. I think they'll at least 8 or more wins. I'll say that, which will be interesting, because usually when you're drafted high, Washington has their rookie quarterback, and they had a second pick, and Denver picked one, I think, before pick 15 or whatever, and Bo Nix. So that might be slightly interesting. Now, as far as collegiate football goes, I think for those who have been fans of football, and most people are NFL fans, I get that, but you are really, really missing out if you do not take a gander at what is happening in the college football landscape.
Yeah, 2 leagues.
It's not 2 leagues. Now, last year we saw the dismissal.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the outright dismantling of a longtime conference that existed before even my ass was born. The Pac-12, it exists in name only. It's just 2 teams, but really it was dismantled, and all those teams basically have been dispersed. And now the Big Ten is now the Big 18, although it's still called the Big Ten. The SEC has 14 teams now. The Big 12, I believe, has 16 teams now. So it's crazy. And ACC picked up a few more teams. The ACC, which stands for the Atlantic Coast Conference. So basically all those schools that are like in North Carolina, Virginia, the Carolinas, I should say, Virginia, Maryland, all over in that area over there, they picked up Cal and Stanford. So it makes no sense to me. And SMU, yes. So it almost.
How does that work?
And Notre Dame has always been, Notre Dame for the last several years has kind of been a de facto member when it comes to football. All their Olympic sports are ACC, but football is kind of its own entity. But they still have they play a lot of teams. Anyway, I digress. Point being, there are 4 major conferences in Division I or FBS football, and that's the Big Ten, the SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC. And this is the first year that we're going to have a 12-team playoff.
So tell the folks why that's important.
Well, it's important because it's going to generate a whole lot of stupid money. A whole lot of stupid money. For those teams the 4 teams will have a bye. For the other teams that are in the playoff, those who have a better record, so the remaining 8 teams, 4 of those teams will actually be able to host a playoff game at their own university or facility that they play at. So, for example, let's say Tennessee doesn't win the SEC, but they make the playoffs, and say they have a 10-2 record. They may get a chance to host a playoff game at Neyland Stadium, which holds 100,000. So you're hosting a playoff game, the first one ever. You can't imagine the kind of revenue that's going to generate for those local. And most college towns are college towns. They're not in big cities, so that's going to be insane, and it's something to look forward to. And everyone's going to gravitate towards that. The next round is going to be bowl games, some of the traditional bowl games that we were used to, or New Year's Day bowl games that we were used to. So Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Orange Bowl, so on and so forth. Those 4 games would be like the semifinals. And then after that you have another round, and then you've got the championship round. So
my question is, and I've been an advocate for the playoffs dating back to when I was in college, because I saw the 1AA playoff and said, why can't they do this at the Division 1A, now the FBS level? But do you think in those later rounds will schools travel like they think they will, talking about fans going to these games late in the year?
Yeah, because they sort of kind of did it for bowl games, but they didn't really matter.
But that's one game though. Now you're talking about adding a possible 2-3 games onto that.
That's interesting.
Can that be sustained?
Here's why. Here's why I think it will be, because you're talking generational fans when it comes to universities. So you're talking not just the students that are there, but their parents and possibly their grandparents, uncles and aunts. And now that, but just the community as well. And you're talking generations within those different variations of community, whether the community be the academic community, those who went to the university, or those who live in that environment, or those who live in those towns or those cities. So yes, and then there'll be I couldn't get this ticket, but I'm going to get that ticket, or I'm saving, so yes, there's enough fans, and not only that, but you're not talking, it's not just one group of fans, it's both teams. So stadiums are going to be anywhere from 65,000 to maybe 100,000, all depending. But when you get to those second levels, it's not at the university. So again, 65 to 85,000, and even if you split it, 40,000 fans, that's in a diaspora of college athletics and generational supporting of those universities. It's not really that many people.
That's just my one concern going long term. I know this year it's going to be madness because it's the first year, but as it goes on,
it will, because here's the thing. Is it going to be Memphis that makes it all the way to the championship?
Probably not.
Probably not. It's going to be, the Alabamas and Georgias, sure. The alumni that have a lot of stupid money, and alumni that have alumni across, the world, so yeah.
But I think the playoff also solves that whole, every time it was like 4 teams, somebody was always like, we should have been in the mix. We haven't. And so I feel like maybe it don't solve the problem, but at least I think more teams.
No, you know what? And I know, Glenn, you're going to say that, it's always going to be that 13 teams going to be saying, I should be in.
No,
there should be no argument at this point. 12 teams, that's no argument.
Yes.
Yeah. No argument.
Enough. You need to be better if you're not in it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and because truly it'll be like, those teams that they'll be both teams will be undefeated, or one have a bad loss like Alabama, but it's like they can't go in. But like, Michigan, I mean, no disrespect.
Florida State last year.
Florida State last year. Perfect example, right? They could have been in the top 4, but it's like they only needed 4. I feel like with 12, Florida State's in, and to your point is that 13th team is like, I mean, no, you're not in the playoff. Sorry. Yeah, no.
Go play in the I was gonna say the Fiesta Bowl, but they might be in the playoff.
It is in the playoffs, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another bowl. Go play in the Liberty Bowl.
Go play in the O'Reilly Parts.
Right.
Go play in the Music City Bowl.
Well, if there's any issue in terms of teams making it, what you'll probably find, it won't be so much the teams that have 2 losses or 3 losses that are arguing. It'll be schools that are in not the Power 5 or Power 4 conferences. It'll be someone from the MAC or someone from the Sun Belt, some from Conference USA or the AAC who says, hey, I didn't win my conference, but I only have 1 loss, and my 1 loss was in the conference championship game.
Nope.
I don't
want to hear it.
Or you have 2 teams, or you have 3 teams. You'll have a team from the AAC that's undefeated, a team from Conference USA that's undefeated, and a team from the MAC conference is undefeated. Which of those 3, are you going to pick Toledo as opposed to a 2-loss Penn State team?
No,
I'm picking a 2-loss Penn State team. Are you going to take Memphis over, Tennessee that has 3 losses, and the 3 losses are Georgia, Alabama,
well, because it's Tennessee,
Texas?
Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, I know, because you're a hater.
Because it's Tennessee.
So if there's any issue, it'll be from that. But again, it's like your wheel's not squeaky enough for us to really even hear it. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, I think for those, again, just to reiterate, college football is doing something it hasn't done before with the 12-team playoff, and that is something for. I think if you love football and you want to see some really good football at the end of the year, meaningful football to kind of carry in between the NFL playoffs or the end of the season up to and through the playoffs. Before they get to the Super Bowl, that'd be a great period of time to watch those games. So also too, as far as collegiate football goes, I think an interesting story is to see part 2 of Deion Sanders and family at Colorado.
Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, you think they're gonna do pretty well this year? Like what's your call? Kind of same like last year. Start off high, then get smacked the rest of the way. Do you believe?
Pretty much.
Do you believe? Do you believe? Do you believe? Do you believe?
They had an interesting showing against North Dakota State last week, last Thursday night.
But Coach Prime he's still the show, right? He's still the main attraction. But I guess I don't feel like it's the same. I don't feel like it's the same. Like last year was like, yo, this is insane, right? Like everybody was. I don't think it'll be the same. I mean, I'm sure people still go see the games and be celebrity, but I mean, last year those first 4 weeks were nuts. It was like he is about to transform college football. This. Like, imagine had they won more games. You know what I'm saying? He'll be he'll be running for president or something. That's insane.
We'll see what happens in Lincoln on Saturday.
Yeah,
Saturday night, prime time, NBC. That's going to be a game.
If they can handle the Cornhuskers, if they can handle the Cornhuskers, then I feel better about their chances to go 8-4 probably. Right now, I'm looking at 6-16, but they'll be the most entertaining, polarizing 6-16 that you can think of. But within that situation, what you really want to watch, if you're watching football, watch his son Shedeur Sanders. I have yet to see anybody at the collegiate level reset his feet as a quarterback and deliver accurate passes through all levels of the field, and he does it consistently.
Their receivers have just ridiculous speed.
Yes.
What's the kid? 12.
Jimmy Horn.
Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is ridiculous.
Yes.
The fact that he can go both ways and he plays. He's playing with 120 plays a game.
Yeah,
that's unreal, man. That's unreal. Yeah.
So you think Shedeur would be top pick in the draft?
No, he won't be the top pick in the draft.
Well, not number one, but I mean first round pick, I should say.
Oh, first round, undoubtedly. He won't get out of the top 10. If he does, it's a steal. I think somewhere like Oakland might get him. Or not Oakland, if you show my age. Las Vegas. I think a team like the Raiders may he would fit that dynamic down there too.
Yeah.
But again, as just pointed out, I was leading with Shedeur to say, as amazing as Shedeur is to watch play, Travis Hunter is something that we haven't seen really ever. Not at this level. Like there was a guy at Holy Cross way back in the day that played both offensively and defensively, but he didn't have the kind of star power that Travis Hunter is right. Yeah, like last century.
Seriously, I'm being dead serious.
Oh, I don't know. I get you, but again, we haven't seen it. You know what I mean? So for Travis, as great as he is as a receiver, and his hands are amazing. He catches around through and above people. His start-stop, his acceleration, his ability to decelerate, catch passes with any kind of press coverage or zone. He's a smart player. He's very aware of what's going on. As good as he is offensively, I think he's still a better defensive back. I think he's a better cornerback. So here's a guy that may be a top 5 pick and be positionless, so to speak. And a team that drafts him may be getting a 2-for-1. So it's really going to be interesting to see when Travis is taken, what his contract is going to look like, because what are you getting?
It's 2 players almost.
Yeah.
He's going to have to pick a spot at some point, right?
I think a spot's going to be picked for him potentially, but I see him doing like Dion pretty much, where you're not doing it 100%, but here and there in spots.
Well, yeah.
But what he'll be more primarily at this point is hard to tell. But it's an interesting story, an interesting player. There's no one like him in college football, so that is a story. That's a person to watch. That's a narrative that doesn't get old because it keeps evolving after each game, and the legends, as they say, continues to grow. So those are some of the things, man. I think you can look out for when it comes to both the pros and college football. On the funny downside, funny for us, not funny for these gentlemen that are going through it, but I don't feel too bad because they're getting paid. Who's going to be fired first? Florida State head coach or the Florida coach? The state of Florida is in a state of flux right now.
You just happy. You just elated by the fact that Florida got dog walked by
yes,
Miami.
I did. Yes, I am. I'm sorry. Am I cheesing? Can you hear it in my voice? Can you see it in
It's
my face?
always about Tennessee. Always.
No, this is strictly about Florida and how bad they are.
Man, GM, we appreciate you, man, with your tips. And guys, you can check out GM more on the Easy Smoke and GM podcast, along with our own Ez McMahon, for all your football tidbits, sports, all that stuff, man. Appreciate you really, because again, we want to save relationships around here. So if you guys, if your mates is all into football, you don't know a thing about us, check out this pod, check out the Easy Smoke and GM podcast, learn a bit more about football and the game, because they know a little bit, right? Y'all know a little bit about
just a tad,
just a tad. I mean, Ez just reminds us all the time that he played football in college and he played football in high school, but that's nothing. Go ahead, GM.
I haven't brought that up in at least a week.
See, in a week.
And don't forget, when you want to find all your express specific coverage of Paralympics, tune in us too.
Yes, sir.
So, GM, where can they find you, man? Where people find you at outside on the pod?
They can find me at on, I hate calling that thing X, but Twitter/X at Real Glynn Morgan, at True Glynn Morgan. Also, if you just type in my name, GLYNN Morgan, on your YouTube, I'm all across the YouTube diaspora. So those are places you can check me out. And obviously, as you mentioned before, the Easy Smoking the GM podcast. So, and also why it still exists for the rest of the month, NBC Sports Chicago. There, I do a weekly mock draft. So I'm trying to see if I can take that traveling show somewhere else. But for now, check me out. So if you want to have some insight as to who's going to go where early on, you want to impress your friends about who the athletes are and what they can do. I could throw out a name like Territory McMillan. Like, who's that? Oh, he's called T-Mac. He's a killer over Arizona. He's a wide receiver, 6'4", 215. Set a record, FBS record for opening day, 304 yards and 4 touchdowns. You get that from your boy G when you look at and read his stuff when it comes to the mock drafts. Thank you very much.
25 days remaining.
Oh, man.
Days remaining.
Yep. Jeez. So for the next month, check him out there. So GM, don't go anywhere, man. We're gonna wrap up real quick. Again, appreciate you joining us. So Ez, before we get out of here, man, we talk about politics, especially when Dr. Williams is on the show, and we touch on it. We make some fun jokes about it. But in the news, and I'm sure you guys have seen it, there's been a lot of celebrities, black men celebrities, openly questioning Vice President Kamala Harris, her candidacy, all this stuff. And so, as I know we're just a pod, all three of us are podcasters, right? We got a mic, we do this because we enjoy the stuff we talk about, right? But truly, everybody does not need a mic. Like, everybody don't need a phone, like, because people just say stuff right, just to be heard, just because they know people will hear them. Like, maybe they got a record to sell, maybe got a movie for us to watch. But now I feel like stuff is to the point. People are just saying stuff just so they'll start trending, right? Things will go up, because what they are feeling to miss is like, to ask this whole, she has to prove to you, like they said, she has to prove to me, right? Now, we ain't seen you, Jermaine Dupri or Tyrese. We ain't seen you since, you last needed us to buy a record from you or buy a movie ticket from you. But now you want to talk on this subject, which is not what you're talking about, right? And also, this whole thing about, this Asian hate crime bill that was being passed, that's misinformation. Trump's campaign is built on misinformation. Do you know how much? I mean, you guys know this, but like how much he just lies up there and just says stuff. He's like, hey, I made the sky blue, right? I told God to paint the sky blue. That was my idea. It's my idea. That's the kind of stuff he says. And it's like, it becomes rhetoric because he says it so much. So now we have these people who are, helping him out, right? By trying to say she's not doing this or hasn't done this or hasn't done that. And the one thing that bothers me the most, right? They want to put this woman who's worked in the government and done things for her constituents, and nobody's perfect, right? If you get to this point, it's some stuff that maybe you could want to take back, but for the most part, I would believe she's trying to help us out and be different than Trump, right? But I never hear Trump got to show me what he can do differently, right? What has Trump done? It's like they just accept the fact of and they make this woman she's already got to prove, right, her case from being a woman of color. Like, I don't know, as we talked about it before, look at how she dresses now. It's like she's almost dressing down her femininity because she has to, right? People that she don't want to be looked at, so now she's wearing like these dark suits in dark shirts. And she's this gorgeous woman who the first woman president should be able to allow to be a woman, but she can't because people are out here saying stupid stuff like this. But I want to read this list of failures of Donald Trump that none of these celebrities have ever said on any live, or any Facebook Live, IG Live, any YouTube video, what have you, and said, I want Trump to answer for this. They just accepted it as fact and was quiet and didn't say a word. Charlottesville and George Floyd, right? We forget about all this stuff that happened. We call these people good people on both sides. George Floyd, right? You know, he made him, well, that more happened afterwards, but those were causes up until George Floyd's death, right? So just America's global image, right? There was a point, I can't remember the ambassador's name. They wouldn't shake Trump's hand like at some global forum, right? Because it's like, dog, you stupid. You're dumb. This is how we view America right now. And then we had, now the one thing that breaks my heart the most is when they had these children and their families at the borders, and they had those cages, and they're separating parents,
kids
from their kids, right? Like it was nothing, right? Yeah, okay, there's a border crisis, got it. But this is not a way to handle it, to separate these children and not care. And you're doing this in the name of the United States. This is what President Trump has done, right? Or at least leading over.
Paper towels of Florida or Puerto Rican.
In Puerto Rico, throwing him in the crowd like he Oprah at an event or something. You know what I'm saying? And then replacing the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare, right? Repealed it, tried to repeal it just because it was something successful that President Obama had done and didn't involve any replacement. He was impeached and is indicted, you know what I mean? And he's a felon, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what else do we have to do? And then the big thing is the COVID-19 pandemic that he fumbled, right? Talking about spraying cleaner down your mouth, all this other stuff. Now, listen, if you listen to the Super Duper Pod, you kind of already know which way we lean. Shout out to the Harris sisters. If you know, IYK. But the thing, but the truth is this. It's like, you know, I heard a podcast where somebody said, who are these undecided voters, right? Who are you? Because at this point, what else he got to say? You know what I'm saying? For you to be like, you know what? I'm gonna leave him alone. Like you just want attention, right? You just want to say something, and that's what I feel these people are doing. They just want to be seen and want to say something, and I think, and it's doing it. And I think, not that I think, I know, it's doing a disservice to the campaign and to what we're trying to do with this country to get back on some sort of track. Because we got to get out of this lane of where we can't just do what's best for the country. People are doing what's best for themselves and for their parties. And I feel, again, America's not perfect, but I feel like there was at least a time where the parties tried to, okay, we now in office, let's do what we got to do until the next time there's an election, right? We've been spending the last few years just figuring out who's on the right and who's on the left, and that's what we stand in. And there's folks out here homeless, folks out here dying, folks out here that can't afford rent, folks out here that can't go to school, and you want to fight over your party over another party. Stuff has to stop. And I feel like these celebrities don't help by just saying anything. If you're going to use your influence, use it the right way, right? Give your platform to somebody that does this all the time, right? Roland Martin ain't going to Arista Records and making a track just cause that ain't his lane. You know what I'm saying? Let him do him and you do you, right? You want to figure something out, call somebody because you are so-and-so, right? They'll take your call. They'll listen to what you got to say about this. This stuff got to stop, man. This is from a regular Joe podcaster, right? Put your mics up. Put the mute on from time to time. Let somebody see the edit before you hit send. I just wanted to get that off my chest because I feel like we got to be responsible, right? And I think the podcast we're trying to be, we are big. You know, Dr. Williams also always talks about the war on information, right? And just how there is a war. And people are weaponizing information, right? If you say the one thing long enough, people just tend to believe it and think for it to be true. They don't do no research. They don't look it up. They don't even double check it. Like, as I always admire you, man, because you watch Fox News, right? And you say it all the time because you just want to see what the other side thinks. Like, nothing's wrong with seeing what the other side thinks, seeing a different perspective, because you got to know the whole story. You shouldn't just believe all of you on one side just because, right? No, be a well-rounded person. So again, these people get on their phones and make these videos. Just something that they saw, something that they heard, and now they run with it and tell a million people and then half of them now believe it. Right. And now we got people who are not trying to vote because Jermaine Dupri says something. That's ridiculous, and it shouldn't be happening. This election, not just this one. All of them are important, right? And to be fair, as you and I talk about this all the time, it's not just like the presidential election. Yeah, it's important, but so are the midterms. So are your local elections, right? Your mayoral, your gubernatorial. Those are the ones that's affecting you every doggone day. You know what I mean? These jokers going to be in office 4 years, maybe 8 tops, but your mayor going to be there forever. So again, people, stop with the foolishness. And again, if you're somebody that's a regular Joe like us, do your own reading. Don't listen to these celebrities. They ain't nowhere. They trying to sell some records, okay? And you got a life to live. And this is about you, right? And your people and your children, your community, the economy that affects you, the milk that you buy, the gases you buy. It's about you. And you have to be the master of your own fate in terms of this election and what you know and what you don't know. So don't listen to these folks. Go to CNN. Let me double check. We say all the time, double check us too. That's what we don't mind. We know what we say. We know where we stand.
That's right.
So with that, we thank you guys for joining the Super Duper Pod. We do not take your listens lightly. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Super Duper Pod on all socials. Super Duper Pod, SUPADUPAPOD, and online at HP53productions.com for our merch and additional content. GM, appreciate you being on here today. Ed, did I miss anything?
I think you covered it all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Hey, we got to share with Rob, man. Because after that soliloquy you just gave us, you got to follow with like, hey, I ain't saying I'm right. I just don't think I'm wrong.
Oh, that's right.
That's what we do. Yeah.
Yes.
I like that. But make sure you take care of yourselves and each other. Hey, mama, this is the Super Duper Podcast.
That's champagne, real pain, champagne from you and I. Wait, you alive? Now that's champagne if you was I. Would you be off on this campaign? Is it suicide? If you know that bringing hope here is how careers die. Or do the K stand for kamikaze? For Jay Silent is everywhere, you can feel them probably. Surely, lately, I've been up late with demons in my basement trying to get me to hate this. Life thinking I should be further and then I choke up. As soon as I got silent, then the truth spoke up. This said, how you know you ain't perfect? Let that soak up and soak in. You know how you know that you blessed? I woke